I'm just gonna be snacking.
All right, you snack. Welcome, everybody. We are officially live, and we got started here a little bit late, but thank you guys for hanging out and joining us tonight. It is officially Thursday, the weekly webinar series. So throw your name and where you're from in the chat box. Let's get this going. And yeah, man, we got some really good value for you guys tonight. And man, we're gonna hopefully end 2016 strong and set you guys up for success in 2017. And if you guys, what's up, Jeremy, Jeffrey? So if you guys keep hanging with us every single week as we continue to do this, we're just going to give you guys more and more value to help build your business and get you guys ready and fired up for 2017. So we thank you and appreciate you guys hanging out with us every Thursday. And other than that, yeah, real quick, I think you guys know the spiel at this point. My name's Dan Kump, co-hosting with my man Nick Anderson over there. What up, Nick?
What's going on, guys? Excited to be here with you guys tonight.
Oh, by the way, I think everyone would love to hear you sing that jingle that you put on Facebook. I don't know. Do you feel like singing that?
I don't know, man. I don't really have the voice. I feel like you got a better voice than me because your voice is like a combination of, Jesus and Fergie if you combine them together.
Oh, you had to go there. You had to go there. Fergie. Oh, my God. All right. No. Anyway. Let's see. What do we got? Singapore, West Virginia, Switzerland. Nice. I'm down with the Swiss watches. I know that. Indonesia. Man, you guys are from all over the place tonight. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. So we're going to start off tonight. We're going to get into so tonight we're going to talk about the 5 things that you guys need for 2017 in order to get to that 6-figure plateau and really take your business to a whole nother level. So before we do that, just make sure that you guys are ready to rock out tonight. You're ready to take some notes, to be involved, and obviously participate in the webinar. So if you have other tabs open, please close those out. If you have a cell phone and it's on, please close that and just get ready to hang out, take some notes, and enjoy what we have in store for you tonight. So before we get into the 5 things, I just want to share with you guys a story. So I heard this earlier today, and you guys have heard on past webinars, ILT, Invest, Learn, Teach, or, Learn, Do, Teach, depending on, who you hear it from. But that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So I heard a story earlier today. It was actually from Eric Thomas. And for those that don't know who Eric Thomas is, he is a motivational speaker, and he's incredibly motivational, and he's extremely energetic. I know Nick saw him live. I've never had the chance to see him live, but I certainly would love to. And so he was telling this story. And so there was once this very young, hungry entrepreneur, okay? And he came across this, who he thought was a mentor, somebody that was a very successful entrepreneur. And this very successful entrepreneur was making it happen. 7-figure earner, making over $1 million a year, just absolutely crushing it, okay? And this aspiring entrepreneur said to the successful entrepreneur, "Hey, oh my God, man, I gotta partner with you. I gotta mentor with you. I want to do whatever it takes. I want to do whatever it takes to be successful. I want to be a successful entrepreneur just like you are." So the successful entrepreneur turns around, puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "All right, cool. You want to be a successful entrepreneur? Meet me at the beach tomorrow at 4 a.m. The guy said, "What? 4 a.m.? You kidding me, right? You want to be successful, right?" The aspiring entrepreneur says, "Yeah." And so the guy says, "Great, meet me at the beach at 4 a.m. And the aspiring entrepreneur says, all right, I'll be there." So the next morning comes, it's, sun hasn't even come up yet. And the aspiring entrepreneur gets to the beach, and he, puts a swimsuit on, and he's there, and he's ready to go. And the successful entrepreneur says, he shows up and he says, "All right, let's do this. You ready?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm ready. I don't understand why we're at the beach, but I'm ready." He's like, "All right, let's go in the water." So he gets waist deep in water, and he says, "All right, you want to be a successful entrepreneur, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I definitely do. What are we doing? Swimming laps? What are we doing? What's going on here, man?" He says, "All right, that's cool. Let's go a little deeper." So now the water level, I want you guys to picture this in your head. So now the water level's right around his right around his chin. And for those of you that have, been at the beach or been in a lake and you're standing in chin high water, for some people it's a little nerve wracking, but so the successful entrepreneur says, all right, so you want to be successful, right? You want to be successful. And the aspiring entrepreneur says, yeah, what are we doing? Tell me what we're doing. And he's like, all right, so how bad do you want it? He's like, I want it. He's like, all right, let's take another few more steps out. So now at this point, it's right up to his nose and he can barely breathe. And the successful entrepreneur says, how bad do you want it? He's like, I want it. I really want it. He's like, all right. So he takes the aspiring entrepreneur, and he literally dunks his head underwater, and he sits there and he's holding him underwater while he's, so the successful entrepreneur, he's got the aspiring entrepreneur underwater, and he's sitting there. And then finally, after, probably 30 to 45 seconds, he pulls him up out of the water. And he asks him one question. He says, when you were underwater, what did you want to do most while you were underwater? So I'm going to leave you guys with that question. And I want you to put over in the chat box, if you were underwater for 30 to 45 seconds, what is the one thing that you would want to do the most while you were underwater? What was the one thing that you would want to be able to do? I'll just give you guys a couple seconds to answer that. All right. So you guys hit the nail on the head. What you guys would want to do is breathe. And the successful entrepreneur said to the aspiring entrepreneur, you want to be successful just as much as you want it. You want it just as much as you want to breathe. So in order for you guys to want it, in order for you guys to want 2017 to be your best year ever, you need to want it. You need to want to be successful as much as you want to breathe. So let that sink in. Okay. So as we get into, I know, trust me, I don't tell it nearly as good as Eric does, but you guys get the point. So, that's what it's all about, man. You got to want it so bad. And it all comes down to just making that decision that you're going to go after it. And that's going to lead us right into the 5 things that we're going to talk about. So first thing is having a massive, massive vision. All right. So that's number 1. So you can write that down, having a massive vision. And I've talked about this with some of my students and, my private team that I have on Facebook. And we've talked about having a vision and having some goals for 2017. And at this point, I mean, hopefully at this point, you've already written them down. And you don't just have them up here, you've actually put them on paper. Maybe you've even said them out loud at this point, but you really want to start planning that out now if you haven't done that already. So Nick, why don't you tee it off and start talking about this vision.
Perfect, man. You can hear me crystal clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I love that story. I remember when I was first listening to Eric Thomas, that was the very first video that I saw online of him. That thing has like over several million views. And, when we saw him in person live, it was even crazier. That guy's energy is really contagious. He's hyping the crowd up, getting everyone into it. I think he's, like a younger version of Les Brown. So he's very motivational, kind of in your face. And over the years, he's just going to get more and more and more refined. But a big thing that he talked about was, Eric Thomas talks about having that vision and being able to craft that dream lifestyle that you want and where you see yourself, 1 year down the road, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 10 years down the road. Most people, their vision doesn't extend past the weekend. They're working their job Monday through Friday, and their vision is, I can't wait for this weekend to go to the bars, get drunk, or to escape my 9 to 5, right? And if that's as far as your vision can go, then, that's what your lifestyle is going to look like for the next 40, 50, 60 years. So if you really want a change over the next 12 months, then you have to understand that crafting your vision is the most important thing that you could possibly do. When I heard that, I was like, that's not important. I just need the tactics, right? I need the tactics to be able to generate more leads. I need to be able to figure out, how I can, sign up more people in my business. And I didn't understand that this visioneering, this, vision questioning is what they call it, is going to allow you to be able to build that motivation inside of yourself. Because if you're lacking motivation, most likely it's because you're lacking a clarity in your purpose and a clarity in your vision. Okay. And there's a difference between having, a vision and having goals. Like, goals are checkpoints along the way. in order to get to that grander vision that you really want. So there's a few things that you guys can do, you know, to be able to craft a vision for yourself. You know, a big thing is creating a vision board. Like, I can turn around my computer real quick and I'll show you guys mine, just to give you guys an example. So every day that I'm like working, you know, I just have like a little desk here in my room. It's kind of a mess right now, a little shit show. But if you guys look at this right here, you'll see that I put up all the things that I want to accomplish in it, and you know, different things that I've already been able to accomplish too. And just having that in front of me every single day keeps my mind focused on the positive, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, you know, building a business is tough. It's not easy. You know, if I told you it was easy, I'd be lying straight up to your face, right? It's difficult. And when it becomes hard, you know, most people, they can't focus on what they want. They're focusing on the negative. And so they build up doubt inside of themselves, and that doubt holds people back from taking action and moving forward. So in order to build up that positive, you have belief, and then you have doubt on one side, right? When you first join your business, it's like a teeter-totter, right? You know, one side, the belief is through the roof, you know, so it outweighs the doubt immensely. But when you start to approach people about your business on social media, or your friends, your family members, or even strangers for that matter, and people start shutting you down, telling you that it's too good to be true, it's not going to work for you, oh, how much do you make, oh, I'm going to wait till you make money before I sign up, right? You start hearing all these objections, then what slowly starts to happen is your belief starts to dwindle, it starts to go down, and your doubt starts to rise again, right? So you have to keep your belief at an all-time high no matter what it is that you're doing. So some things that I like to do is, obviously, vision board is number one. So take some time, you know, cut out some pictures from a magazine, or you can go on Google, type in like, you know, your dream destination, your dream vacation, like what kind of car do you want to drive, right? Do you want to, you know, go on cruises? What do you want your house to look like? You know, are you not in a relationship? Do you want to be in a relationship? You know, just think of your perfect lifestyle that you want, put it up on a vision board, and look at it every single day. And what that does for you is unconsciously, it starts to ingrain inside of your mind, where that becomes the lifestyle that you expect. Just to give you guys an example, when I was living in Montana, I visualized myself, and I had Thailand, wanting to go to Thailand on like a vision board, and having videos that I would watch every single day of like little travel videos and stuff. So when I was feeling a lack of motivation, right, massive doubt, what I would do is I would go on YouTube and I would type in like Thailand GoPro videos, or Thailand vacation spots, or like Thailand beaches, right? And I would just look at videos of that, because I love travel, I love vacation. So figuring out what motivates you and looking at that every single day. Now, the craziest thing, you know, I started working in my business, but I kept doing that every single day. Now, in about a week from now, I'm going to be going to Thailand with my girlfriend, and we're going to be spending about 3 weeks there. I'm going to Chiang Mai first, then, you know, Bangkok, and then Phuket, lower Thailand, like to the PP Islands. I think that's how you say it. Might pronounce that wrong, but then just going all over the place and shooting a lot of video and doing that, because video is my passion. So I wanted to make videos just like the videos I was watching online. So figuring out, you guys, exactly what motivates you, and defining that crystal clear, you know, dream lifestyle. Now, another thing that you can do, and I highly recommend this, you know, Dan's done this as well, is get yourself a little notebook and write down your perfect day, you know, your perfect day of what you want it to look like, and have it literally so descriptive that you can close your eyes and you can visualize every single thing, and, you know, you can picture it in your mind as if it's already happened. Okay, that's the biggest thing. Like, if it feels, that's good stuff right there, Dan. Yeah, Dan's got it all laid out for himself right there, and his family, you know. So if your family's part of it too, incorporate that into it as well. You know, having that vision for yourself, for your family, for the people around you, and being able to, when you close your eyes at night, being able to picture that in your mind, that's how you extend your vision. You know, most people just see with their eyes. It's called eyesight. You got to be able to see with your mind. That's called mindsight. Okay. If you can picture that down the road, it's going to be unbelievable. The ideas that pop into your mind for videos to create content for your business, the little like ideas that come into your mind to type up emails. You know, if you're lacking inspiration, if you're lacking stuff to be able to make more money, to sign up more customers, more distributors, build a larger team, it's because you're lacking that clarity in your vision. And when you have that vision, you don't have to know the how, you just have to know the why, right? Martin Luther King Jr., when he gave his speech, he didn't give the "I have a plan" speech. I want you guys to remember that. He didn't give the "I have a plan" speech, right? He didn't say, "I have a plan to do this, that, to make it so, you know, black people and white people live together in peace and harmony." He said, "I have a dream that one day black people and white people will be able to live together in peace and harmony," right? So all you have to do is have that dream. And I cannot stress this enough, you guys. I remember when I was first starting out in my first business, right? My upline at that time. He explained everything to me, and immediately I saw myself, being able to travel the world. I was like, this is going to be unbelievable. I cannot wait till, I have an organization, a large group of people that I'm inspiring, that I'm helping other people leave their jobs, quit their 9-to-5s, being able to travel the world and help change other people's lives. Because it's one thing when you can accomplish it for yourself, but it's another thing when you can help other people accomplish their dreams and their vision as well, you guys. So like I said, if you create a vision board, that's a big thing. If you, write down your perfect day, get that as descriptive as possible, that's even better. And, another thing that you can do is like looking at videos and just staying plugged into that stuff and nonstop, because they say, your mind, it's like a muscle, just like your body, right? If you don't feed yourself on a daily basis food, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna die, right? You gotta drink water, you gotta eat. If you don't feed your mind on a daily basis, then your mind's gonna atrophy. What you don't use, you lose. So as long as you're constantly seeing stuff that you want, putting yourself in front of it, going to the car dealership and test driving the dream car that you want, even if you can't afford it, right? And if the car dealer says, are you looking to buy this? You're like, not yet, but in the near future, I will be. Right? You don't have to have the income. You don't have to have the results yet. You just have to have the belief. As long as you have the belief, then you're going to have the conviction inside of yourself and all of your marketing and all of your content and your videos. And that energy is going to be so contagious that other people are going to feel it from you. Okay. So I just want to get that across to you guys, because when people plug into a business, the number one thing they're focusing on is those little tiny tactics of like what to say to someone, to get them to show up to an event or a meeting or to watch a video. So they're looking up like strategies. That's why they watch like, Eric Worre or Cesar Rodriguez or Ray Higdon videos, and all that stuff is great. But if you just have that vision first and foremost, then all the tactics will fall into place naturally. So anything else you want to touch on that, Dan?
Yeah, I think two things. When it comes to the Martin Luther King speech, I think if you kind of compare that to, look at this past year that we just had, look at 2016 with the presidential races, and, not just Trump and Hillary but just everybody, when they're talking about, their 12-point plans and their 20-point plans and 10-point plans, like nobody gives a shit about their plans, because their plans never end up being what they say they're going to be anyway. But when you look at somebody like Martin Luther King, he drove 250,000 people to Washington, D.C. to hear his speech. And it wasn't because they believed in him. It was because they believed in themselves, and they, because he was passionate. Because he did have a dream, he did have a vision, and he was so passionate about what he does. And people went there to hear his speech so they could believe in themselves. It wasn't, to go hear his 10-point plan on his economic values. It wasn't any of that. So, having a vision is critical. And with that, the more precise that you can be with your vision. And, just to Nick's point, like, he was showing you his vision board. Hopefully you guys have a vision board. I have mine right here, and it still needs to get tightened up a little bit. But, there's one specific picture up here where, at some point, it's not a want, it's a gotta have. We're going to have it at some point. But
hey, Dan, real
my
quick,
wife and I, yep, shoot.
We lost your audio for a second, but you're back now.
Okay. So at one point, there's a picture up there of a log cabin, and it's kind of like a closed-in room with a couple of leather chairs, a table in the middle, some ottomans, and back behind the chairs is this giant wine rack. And for me, my wife loves wine. I like wine. I like to drink scotch, and I'm going to be sitting in that room at some point. Maybe not that specific room. Maybe I'm going to custom build a room just like that. And also, talk about specifics, right? So I'm a Gemini. I'm born in May, and I know it just happened to work out for this webinar, but so also on my vision board is a check that I wrote out to myself, and it's dated for my birthday. And I wrote the check out for $100,000. So this year, part of my vision and part of what's going to happen is on my birthday, I'm going to pay myself $100,000 from my marketing company, which is DKL Marketing. Okay. So, that's going to happen. Why? Because that's my goal. It's my vision, and I'm going to make it happen. So, and that's very specific too. And it's not just like, yeah, in 2017, I want to crush it and make a lot of money. It's like, no, I want to pay myself $100,000 on May 25th, 2017. That's exact. So the more exact that you can get with your vision and your vision board and your goals, as you're writing them down, the more you can be, the more specific that you can be, the easier it's going to be to hit your goals and to see your vision too. And, if you're not doing daily affirmations, then that's something you should probably think about too, because for me, as I say my affirmations, I visualize that in my head and I can see that. I can see it coming. I can see the income goals happening. I can see the money in my bank account. I can see the lifestyle. I can see certain things starting to take shape as I say my affirmation. So for me, and I'm sure Nick as well, the more specific that you can be with your vision, the better off you're going to be.
Mm-hmm. Amen. That's very true. Like chief aim is what Kevin Trudeau called it. If you don't have that chief aim, like there's going to be a lot of different things that you can want to accomplish, whether it be material things or more experiential things. For me in the start, it was material things. Like I wanted to be able to drive a, nice car. And then as I started to expand my vision, it wasn't about the car anymore. I didn't really care about that. I wanted the experiential things because, you can't take, material things with you to the grave. You can only take experiential things. So I want to be able to travel. And so I was like, had Hawaii as one of my destinations. And, just this year I was there 3 times and, going to make a consistent effort to go every single year. And when Digital Altitudes event comes up next year in like March, going to be going again. So it's like, if you have a dream destination, whether you want to go to Europe, Canada, or anything like that, just make that a goal and put that in front of your mind, because the main reason why people quit is because they lack that vision, they lack that purpose, they lack that bigger picture. And the more your mind expands, then what will happen is the less it'll be about you and the more it'll be about other people. So it starts with yourself first, because in order to fill up other people's glasses of water, let's say, you have to fill up yours first, because how can you expect to give to others if you can't even, provide for yourself, right? I know a lot of people out there here want to change the world. They want to help others, but if you can't help yourself first, you can't help others. It's like when you're on a plane, every time that you fly, they say, put your oxygen mask on first before you help the person next to you. Because if you don't put yours on, you're not going to be capable enough to help anyone else. Okay. So my big vision for 2017 is helping 10 people make a 6-figure income inside of their online business. Okay. So I understand that's going to take a lot of work to do that, but as long as I keep that vision in front of me and being able to have that for them and understand that, it's possible for you guys. It's definitely possible. There's nothing that separates me or Dan from you guys other than time and effort and, just having a bigger vision. Like they say in the Bible, where there is no vision, the people will perish. And so if you don't have a vision, then, you won't have a team. So develop your vision, your team will start to grow. Okay. So that ties into the next thing, you guys. And I hope you're taking notes on this stuff, because I know this is more of philosophical type stuff, you guys, but trust me, if you write this down, you write down these little key nuggets that we're going to be giving you throughout tonight, and then it's really going to start to click up here and you're going to have those mental breakthroughs that are going to allow you to get the results that you're after. Okay. So the next thing is having a why. We hear this a lot, you got to have a why that makes you cry, right? Well, I want to dive deep into this and kind of explain the reason why your why is important and why having it, because a lot of people that I do coaching calls with, that I talk with, I ask them, what's your reason why for doing this? Like, I just want to make money, right? And so their main goal is to create income. So to help dive deeper into this, if your goal is just to make money, there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. But in order to make money, you have to dive deeper than that. Okay. We have to get to the roots of the tree. Okay. So if I were to ask you, how much did you want to make per month? Do you have that written down specifically? For me, when I was starting, it was just to make it, an extra, $2,000 per month. I didn't want to become a millionaire in the start. I didn't have that big enough vision, right? My mind was so small at the point. I didn't expand enough. So I said, I just want to make $2,000 per month to where I can pay off my bills, right? To where, okay, now we're expanding here to where you can pay off your bills. Okay, what is that money going to give you that you don't have now? Well, it's going to allow you to be able to, afford food, right? Be able to eat more, eat organic foods if that's one of your goals, to be able to buy nicer clothes. Maybe it's going to allow you to pay your rent, pay off any car payments, any student loan bills that you have stacked up, which is insane. Like student loan debt's the #1 debt in America, over credit card debt. Credit card debt's freaking massive. So if you want to pay off your student loans, that's awesome. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is as you start to ask yourself, what will this give me that I don't have now? You're going to dive deeper into the why. You're going to get to the core. Okay. So that'll give you, freedom is a big one for most people, freedom from their 9 to 5. So, like I said, with the vision, your why starts with you. Okay. And then it expands outwards from there. A lot of people have their whys like, I want to retire my parents, I want to save the world, right? I want to provide for those that are less fortunate, give back to charities, which are all very noble things. Those are very important. But if you don't have a why for yourself, then like I said, you're going to have an empty glass trying to pour water into other people's glasses, and you're going to have nothing to pour. See, when the cup runneth over, then you're going to have an abundance of stuff to give to other people. Okay, so you start with yourself first. What is it going to give you that you don't have now? So freedom is a big one. The freedom to be able to travel, the freedom to be able to eat what you want, go where you want, not have to look at a price tag on a menu when you eat out at dinner, being able to pay for other people's tabs, being able to buy clothes and not have to look at the price tag on the clothes, whatever it is that you're buying, take dream vacations and all that stuff. And the more your mind expands, then it's going to go into other people. So the next part of the why, the second level of it, is for your family and your friends, right? For the people around you. So being able to go on trips with your friends, like cover the whole bar tab, whatever it may be. Maybe take your parents on a trip, take them on a cruise, whatever it may be for that. So as you start to expand from there, as it goes outwards, then it goes to society and the bigger picture, the bigger whole, which is helping the world and leaving a legacy behind. So as this starts to grow, when you're on your deathbed, one of my mentors, he told me, he said, pick out a suit and sew up the pockets, because you're not going to be able to take anything from this world with you where you go when you die. And that struck home with me. I was like, man, that's big, because, a lot of people, they work their whole lives to make money, to amass this large, collection of material things, whether it be the cars, the tools, the boats, the nice house, all this stuff. And when in reality, when you die, you can't take any of that stuff with you. So being able to leave a legacy behind is the bigger picture of everything, you guys. And once you fully step into that mentally first, then you're going to have so much motivation to where nothing can get you down. I see the littlest things out there getting people down. When they get rejected from someone saying that your business is stupid, I see so many people getting so many arguments over Facebook over that. And the reason why they get in arguments is because their mind lacks a bigger purpose, right? They just focus on the small little petty things, the day-to-day things. So when someone hates on them for whatever it is that they're doing, they lack the mental toughness, right? The mental strength and the bigger picture vision and a deep enough why to be able to look past that. Like if someone hates on me for what it is that I do and says like, oh, you do network marketing, isn't that one of those pyramid things? In the start, I would get very defensive and I would say, no, it's not a pyramid. Your job's a pyramid. Then I would start attacking them. Instead, I'm like, oh, no, it's not. Yeah, whatever. They're like, yeah, it is. I was like, cool. Sometimes they'll be like, okay, why do you think that? And they'll be like, oh, because someone at the top makes all the money. I was like, explain your logic there. Because, I just ask them questions instead of attacking them back. So it's like, I don't even care if someone will, be negative towards me, because that's where their head is at. And I understand that, they're willing to change when they're willing to change. And, I'm on my purpose, I'm on my vision, and I have a deep enough why. So if it's for you, if it's, traveling the world, you want to do that, that's part of your vision. That's great. If it's having the freedom to, leave a 9 to 5, that's awesome. That's perfect. As it starts to expand, you'll do it for your parents, retiring your parents, maybe being able to, pay off the house payments for them. Then it expands even bigger than that for society, being able to do, charity work in foreign countries, building churches. And, like, let's say you want to build churches in Africa, build schools in less developed countries, feed, those that are, malnourished, or feed those that can't provide for themselves, but clothes on the back of other people, that's very noble. Okay. So that's like a very, very important part, you guys. And, just understand that if you write it down, if you're specific with your why as well, then that's going to bleed into everything else inside of your business.
No doubt, no doubt. So I'm going to get, I'll get a little deep with you guys. Okay. So, my why specifically is my family. Okay. And back in July, I made the decision to stop, basically just doing the paycheck to paycheck thing and to stop dabbling and basically just kicking the tires with online marketing and network marketing and just making the decision with my wife and my family to go for it. So for me, and, He's kind of tossing around right now because he doesn't want to sleep. But this little guy right here, who's curled up in his boppy, okay, that's my son Lucas. That's my why. Okay, and it's not just a lot of us have children, and a lot of us, our families are our why. And in the beginning, sometimes if you don't understand your why, or you haven't quite gotten to a deeper level yet, in the beginning, you can make it about the money. You could just make your why, I want to have, like Nick was saying, like have that time freedom, have that, the ability to travel the world. You can make it about the money. That's totally fine. But for me, it's what the money provides. Okay. So, if you guys haven't heard me share my story before, my son, Lucas, he's actually going to be 3 years old next month in January on the 25th. And when he was originally born, he came out, he was, my wife was full term, 40 weeks, completely normal pregnancy. All the blood work was fine. All the ultrasounds were fine. And when my son was born, he was missing skin on 50% of his body. And he spent the first 4 months in the hospital. And so for 129 days straight, my wife and I were in the hospital, and I still had to balance that with work and everything else. And, it was definitely a struggle, but it just made us stronger as a couple. And throughout the 4 months that he was there, he also developed breathing issues. He developed feeding issues. And now at this point, the skin has kind of healed itself, and he's able to breathe fine. He was on a CPAP machine. So for those that you don't, it's basically just like a breathing machine that he had to be on for 2 months while he was in the hospital. And also, so he got through that. And then, so the feeding thing, there's basically a disconnect, okay, between his brain function and his muscle function. So he can't pick things up. He can't speak. He can't crawl. He can't walk. And we have to feed him through a tube. He has a port in his stomach, and we feed him through a tube until his muscles really develop. But we don't know if they're going to develop because he's undiagnosed. He's seen every ology in one of the best, Boston Children's Hospital, which is one of the best children's hospitals in the world. And he doesn't have any type of clinical diagnosis. And we've done genetic testing where they've taken blood from, my wife, my son, and myself, and they've run it twice to try to find something. And literally, like, I kid you not, like about 3 weeks ago, the geneticist finally called my wife and said that, we finally found something. And there was one specific gene, and I think it was like BCL111. It had some weird name. And they finally figured out that one specific gene has an abnormality, and that abnormality has to do with the brain function and the muscle function not connecting, okay? Now, as far as that particular case, the geneticist also let us know that my son is one of 6 children in the world. He's one of 6 children in the world that has that documented case. So that's my why. And what I want to get across to you guys is that the reason why I'm building my business is because when it comes to my family and it comes to my son, ever want to think about money. Okay? So if we have to, pay for an operation, if we have to get a van that has special equipment in it to move them around, if we have to buy, if we want to travel and we have to buy a, one of those big luxury, coach buses or something like that, and we want to travel, or if we have to put an addition on the house, or if we have to have special equipment in the house, I never, ever want to have to think about money. I just want to, yep, no problem. Let's do it. And that's my goal. And that's my why. And, you know, it's not about the money. It's what about the money provides. Okay. So I know that 2017 is going to be my year and my family's year because of, you know, because of this little boy right here. And because I have my vision planned out, I have my goals planned out, and I've already written everything down and talked about it and said it out loud. I can see it in my head. I know what's going to happen. And, you know, by sharing this stuff with you, and, you know, I just want you guys to see, you know, how powerful it can be when you really truly know why you're doing this and you've made the decision to say, you know what, I'm ready. Let's do this. And once you get to that point, I can tell you that nothing will stop you. Okay? Nothing. So for me, I can tell you that 2017 is going to be my year. And if you think you're going to stop me, I'll fucking plow you right over, because I have a why and I've made that decision. So I hope you guys feel that. And I hope you guys have, you know, come to that decision on your own, and you know that it's going to happen, and you have your vision, you have your board planned out, you have your goals written down, because, you know, I can tell you right now that if you guys keep hanging with us, big things are going to happen this year. And I hope you guys are part of that.
That was powerful, man. You know, and this just hit me right here. You know, if your why can make other people cry, then you know that's a deep-rooted why. Like, I was tearing up over here when you say that, man. You know, that's a big motivator, brother. And you know, I appreciate you, Dan.
That wasn't my point. Sorry, but you know, I just the point is, like, you know, you guys just you gotta feel it. You really have to feel it. And, you know, for me, it's like once I got to that point, and like I've talked to you guys before, like I've been in and out of network marketing for the last 15 years, but I wasn't centered. I just didn't commit, you know. And once I finally made that decision, like, you know, I've shared before, like once I made that decision back in July, and, you know, I really truly knew why. Everything just kind of came to a head, and it all just, like, the vision got clear, and it all just kind of made sense. So, you know, that's what it takes sometimes.
Definitely, man. And for those of you out there that are listening to that, you know, I know a lot of people are probably, you know, tearing up on the other end, really starting to think about, you know, their reason why and what they're doing it for, their family members, the people around them. And if you're lacking vision, if you clarify your why and you dig that deep enough, the vision will start to clear and your head will start to clear up. And, you know, then that's when the how-to starts to unveil itself. You know, the curtain lifts up, and then, you know, everything will show itself from you, show itself in front of you. So, you know, boiling into the next point, you guys, when it comes in terms of, you know, the bigger picture, the philosophical type stuff, having the why, having the vision, that's like 80% of success, if not more, you know. But we do want to talk about that smaller percentage as well, you know, the 20% or less. And a main thing too, Ray Higdon said this, he says the most powerful thing that you can have inside of your business, alongside your why, alongside your vision, is a daily routine. And I ask a lot of people, like, what does their daily routine consist of? And when they start explaining it to me, you know, I can help them make little tweaks and twists in there that will allow them to be able to, you know, start focusing on certain things they'll produce income. You know, we'd call them IPAs, and not the beers, but the income producing activities. So there's a book, a famous book, I have it around here somewhere. It's called The Morning Miracle by Hal Elrod. It's actually sitting right here. I suggest you guys pick up this book, The Morning Miracle for Network Marketers. The foreword is written by Ray Higdon and everything. And inside of that, there's an acronym that will really help you develop the daily routine. It's called SAVERS, okay? So the S is for silence. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, whether you're, you know, if you're a night owl, you sleep, you know, you go to bed at like 3. Yeah, what's up?
Sorry, I'll be right back. Actually, I have to go adjust him, so I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good, brother. Yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. But when you guys are developing this and you wake up in the morning and you start setting your daily routine, the very first thing is silence, right? See, when I was struggling in my business, what I was doing was allowing me to struggle was I was starting my day off on the wrong foot. And as soon as I got out of bed, I would look at my phone and I would check my business, and I would look at to see if I had commission notifications. And if I didn't see anything, then I would get frustrated. I would get down on myself. I would start internally telling myself that what I'm doing isn't working. This business isn't working. The doubt would start to build up. The belief would dwindle. And then, of course, then I'd tap back into my why, my vision, my purpose. Then my motivation will go through the roof. But this little tweak that I made in the morning changed everything for me. Okay. So the very first thing is silence. Now, what do I mean by silence? Well, meditation. Okay. And I know meditation is very spiritual, new age type stuff. A lot of people say, but it's been proven to work. It's been proven to help you not only calm your mind, but to clarify your vision and your purpose, right? And to get yourself started on the right foot. If you meditate, the best way to do it is with, when you're starting out, I like to do it with binaural beats, right? And binaural beats is pretty much where it plays one tone in one ear, another tone in another, and they synchronizes together, and it puts you in an alpha brainwave state. When you're in an alpha brainwave state, when you're picturing stuff, it will allow you to manifest it a lot quicker. So when you're meditating and you're doing this, you guys, and you're just focusing on your breathing first, like there's different meditation classes that you could take. I'm no expert on it, so I'm not going to try and give you guys all the tips in the world. But if you take a meditation class in your local area, or if you do enough research online, you'll see there's plenty of benefits in it. And I believe that meditation is starting to become mainstream, as more celebrities start doing it, people that are more known, then they start talking about it. Then of course their followers are going to start to do it. Then the word will start to spread. And over the next 5 years, hopefully they'll start putting it in school. The reason why most kids struggle to retain any information or failing classes is because they're a little bit crazy, a little bit ADD. I'm ADD, and it's hard for me to stay focused. And when I started doing meditation first thing in the morning, throughout the day, I created such strong focus for myself in my business to where I could literally grind for hours at a time, editing videos, typing up emails, writing posts and doing all this stuff. And I didn't feel a lack of energy. Even if I didn't eat, when I was starting out, I would go a couple days without eating anything, and I'd just be working in my computer, and it wasn't a hassle for me. Most people that are working their business, it's a hassle, right? They see it as a bad thing. They're just like, oh, I have to put in work. Oh, crap. Their doubt's up here. When they're putting in work, they're not going to achieve anything worthwhile from that. When you have, your mind clear and you can focus on something, you're having fun doing it, then that's where, inspiration and certain ideas are going to start popping into your head. Okay. So silence is number one. The A is affirmations, right? So affirmations is I am statements. A big thing that you can do is write down certain I am statements, next to your perfect day. So right here. So it's what are you? I am perfect health. I am wealthy. I'm a leader. I'm wise beyond my years. I'm humble. I'm confident. I'm creative. I'm adventurous. I'm respected. I'm loved. I'm understood. I'm assertive. I'm a millionaire. I am full of energy. I'm happy. I'm grateful. I'm divine. I'm a master of my own emotions. So all these certain things that you guys start to write down, you can say them out loud, evoke emotion into it, which is big. But more importantly than that, start saying them throughout the day. You don't have to dedicate, some people will dedicate certain time blocks in their day to do affirmations. For me, it's just an all day long thing. So when my silent thoughts, the voice inside my head starts to take over, I always ask, I'm always focusing on what is it saying? Is it saying, oh, this person doesn't like you, or you're doing this wrong, or you said something wrong? Instead, it's focusing on, sometimes I do have that negative voice that creeps in, but then I'll let the positive voice overtake it and start telling myself, that I am positive, I am a leader. Other people do respect me. I'm loved. I'm assertive, and I'm attracting the things that I want. So these I am statements, these affirmations, are what's going to allow you to start shifting your mind from focusing on the negative, because there's neural pathways in your brains, the synaptic pathways that are focused on negativity. You guys have probably met people in your lives that always have something negative to say about other people or about situations, even if they go on vacation. I'm saying, someone could plan a trip to Hawaii and they could go and they could stay at the nicest resort, right? And as soon as they get there, they're on the plane, they're excited first, but then they're going to find something to complain about. They're going to complain about the stewardess, the flight attendant not bringing them their drinking time. They're going to complain about the backseat. They're going to complain about the food, right? As soon as they get to the resort, they're going to complain about the hot weather, right? They wanted to get out of the cold. They're going to go to the hot weather. They're going to complain how humid it is. You know what I'm saying? They're going to complain about the room service. So their synaptic pathways in their brain are focused on the negative. So in order to shift that, I am statements is what will allow you to shift and slowly start to rewire your brain. And it's actually been proven too. If you look at a brain, you can tell the little grooves, your brain can start to shift and move, and it'll reshift itself, reshape itself to where you can literally start focusing on the positive nonstop. So affirmations are big, you guys. If you want to set out a time today, if you're a very structured type person, for me, I'm very free flowing. So I just do it throughout the day. But in the morning, you know, what you focus on first thing in the morning is really going to dictate the rest of your day. Now, the V in Savers, visualization. You know, we talk about that with your vision, you know, visualizing the end result of what you want, not necessarily focusing on the how you're going to get there. And it's just like, you know, if you're going to drive in your car from California all the way to New York, you don't have to know the whole road. You know, you don't have to see everything on the road. If you're driving at night, your lights are only going to light a few hundred feet in front of you, but then you trust that the next 100 feet are going to unfold. So being able to visualize, closing your eyes, I like to do this during my meditation for a little bit, you know, for like 5-10 minutes where I'm just visualizing my dream lifestyle. So it gets me in that positive mood, because when you have that positive energy, when you take action in your business, your results are going to 10x themselves, if not 100x themselves. I've generally found that when I work hard and I'm feeling negative, if I don't have the right mental picture, and if I'm not thinking positive and have that negative energy, I could work 16 hours a day and produce not near as much results. Right? And I could work 1 hour per day feeling positive, feeling a positive sense of expectancy that the work that I'm doing is going to produce me a result. And if I put in that 1 hour per day, I'll be able to expand my results. And just to prove it to you guys, you know, my first year in my business, right, I was working about 16, 18 hours a day. And I would eat like a couple meals per day. I was just grinding nonstop. I made $600 a month in my business. Okay. The second year, I started to slowly learn these principles right here, and then my income expanded to, you know, $5,000 per month. Then within my third year, you know, of doing online marketing, expanded past $10,000 per month. And then, you know, like, what was it, a couple months ago, I had my first $60,000 month, and I worked probably 2 hours per day in my business. It's because now that it's so ingrained, I expect the results, that positivity, that vision, that belief in the why is there. Okay. So visualization, very, very, very important, you guys. Now the E in it is exercise, right? You know, a lot of people talk about the certain things that are going to make you money, but they don't talk about the physical aspect as well. You know, we live in several different worlds at once. What do I mean by that? Well, we live in the mental world, right? We live in the spiritual world, we live in the emotional world, and then we live in the physical world, right? Physical world is just one of the 4 aspects of it, right? So if you get those 3 worlds down, mental, emotional, and spiritual world, then the physical world is a printout of the other 3. If you guys have ever read T. Harv Ekker's book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, you can listen to it on YouTube as well. He talks about that. And if you exercise, you know, that physical world, getting your body in better shape, right? You know, you're going to have that vitality, that energy to be more spiritually fit as well. Okay. So exercise is very, very important, you guys. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to do like CrossFit and stuff like that. Start out small. Doing a walk around the block is enough. You know, you build up that momentum to where you can start doing an hour-long workout at a time, you know, where you eventually get to that CrossFit level. And, you know, you want to go insane with the fitness aspect too, but everything has balance. Okay. So moving on, the R is reading. Okay. I like to do a little bit of reading. For me in the start, it's still a struggle, still a battle, right? I don't read every day. I make it a goal to. Sometimes I'll slack a little bit. You know, I'm human, just like all of us are. But I make it a goal to read at least like a couple pages here and there. When I was starting, I read a page a day, right? Then I went to 2 pages, then 3 pages, then 4, then 5. Then, you know, now I can sit down if I, you know, make it a priority to do it for an hour at a time and read and stay focused on it. But it's just that, you know, conscious effort at first until it becomes an unconscious habit. Just like Kevin Trudeau says, you know, you start out as unconscious incompetence, which is pretty much you don't know what you don't know. Like a lot of people don't even realize that they can read books and change their life completely. They just think books are boring because school has trained them to think it's boring. Like they don't even realize it. It's like when you're a kid, you don't even know what money is, right? When you're like 4 years old, you don't even realize that it takes money to pay bills, to, you know, buy food, do all this stuff. You just think that your parents just like give you everything, right? And then you start to learn the value of $1 as you start to grow. So you're unconsciously competent. Then it comes to conscious incompetence. So you know that you don't know. So you start to realize, holy crap, you know, these books, they're going to help me out, but I don't know anything in the books. I don't know how to build a business. I don't know how to do that, which is okay. But then you come to conscious competence where you start to practice. It's like when you first learned how to tie your shoelace, right? You had to watch a few videos. You had to watch someone else do it. You had to, you know, learn how to tuck it, learn how to tie it, do all that. Then it gets to the point where it's unconscious competence, where you can literally do it without even thinking about it. You know how to tie your shoes. It's like if you have a job, right? You know, if you've worked at your job longer than a year, sometimes have you ever found yourself where you get off work and you drive home and you don't even realize that, you know, you weren't even paying attention the whole way home. Sometimes you'll just show up at home. You're like, holy crap, how did I not die? Like I wasn't even paying attention this whole way. It's just because you're so unconsciously competent on how to drive a car, you know, how to read the street signs, the whole road to get home, versus when you're in a new city, Then it's conscious competence where you have to figure it out. You have to kind of look, okay, you have to look at your GPS and do all this stuff. So understand, you guys, that, you know, when you start to read, the certain ideas and principles that you're going to start to learn are going to be ingrained into your unconscious mind, to where you become unconsciously competent with all of the stuff that we're teaching you on this webinar as well. Okay. And the last thing is scribing. And scribing just means writing. Okay. So write down notes of the things that you want to teach. So basically, a lot of people, they write as if they're in student mode, okay? So I want to shift your guys' paradigm here to help you become a better content creator, because every time that I take down notes, I write down notes with the intention to teach, okay? Intention is everything. If you're writing and you're writing down, okay, I have to teach this to someone else, you're going to write a little bit differently, right? You're going to start creating content. You're not just going to write as if you're in school, like, when am I ever going to use this? You're going to be like, okay, I'm actually going to have to teach this to someone else. So you're going to remember more of it. And that is a very key, subtle little nuance right there, a little shift that's going to allow you guys to do that. But, you know, when it comes in terms of your daily routine, that's the biggest thing in the morning. And I know I'm talking a lot here. So Dan, is there anything you want to touch on those things? I'm not sure if you've read the book, right?
That one I actually, hold on a second. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I had to mute my mic for a second there. Yeah, I think for me, I mean, a routine is crucial, but you know, obviously with, you know, my son and my wife and my family, and just kind of creating a routine around what we do, I have to have one. So it's crucial, and it helps keep me structured. It helps keep me, you know, putting out content almost every single day, every single week, because I have that developed routine. And a lot of the times, like, what you'll have to do is actually, you know, depending on your living situation, you might have to develop that with your significant other in mind, and kind of agree to, you know, what you're going to do. And it could be very beneficial, but again, just plan it out. But something that you had said in there, Nick, you were talking about, you know, taking action. And I can't stress enough the fact that so many people get so overwhelmed and hell-bent on getting things right, versus just taking action. And speed of implementation and just speed of taking massive action is so much more important and so much more valuable than getting it right. Because over time, you're gonna learn, and you're gonna fix, and you're gonna adjust, and you're gonna get things right along the way. But taking action and doing it quickly and, you know, consistently is so much more important than worrying about, you know, writing that perfect post, or creating that perfect Instagram post, or creating that perfect email. Just get consistent, and just, you know, take action and get consistent, because the speed of implementation is crucial. And that's going to be the difference maker between, you know, starting to see results. Even if they're just small incremental results, they're going to grow. And the more action that you take, the more consistent that you are, the better you're going to get. And, you know, the more you're going to build. So definitely, just my thought on that.
Action trumps everything. You know, I know a lot of people out there that, you know it all, right? They're masters of the universe when it comes in terms of knowledge, right? They understand everything about how the universe works, everything about, you know, science, everything about everything, right? But they have no physical results. If you want results in the physical world, like I say, in those four worlds, if you want that physical, that, you know, the money, the lifestyle, the freedom, all that stuff, then action will trump everything, you guys. So, you know, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. Now, there's three things that you really want to focus on too after your daily routine is out of the way, right? So you have, you know, the savers, that acronym down. And, you know, when you get that done, part of the day, the next thing that you should be focusing on doing is creating content, right? You know, you got to put yourself out there, and content comes in many different forms. Okay. And a lot of people say, well, what's the best form, right? You know, what's the best social media platform that I should use? Well, there isn't the best. It's just whichever one that you use, that you stay the most consistent on, that's the best. Right? Some people ask me, you know, is Facebook better than Instagram? Well, it depends. I know people on Instagram that make, you know, $1 million a year, if not $1 million a month, just posting up pictures on Instagram, right? They have millions of followers. It's just because they stay consistent on that. I know people on Facebook, same thing. They don't even have an Instagram account. Like one guy, Mike Dillard, he doesn't even have Snapchat. He just uses Facebook ads, right? So he stays consistent with that. But there's one thing that I would recommend staying consistent on content, and that's video. Okay, video by far trumps everything else. Okay, and the reason why is super, super simple. You know, you can see us, right? You can hear us. We're not there with you in person, but there's a part of your brain, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the prefrontal cortex, that cannot tell the difference between a live person, like if you're at a Starbucks having a one-on-one conversation with someone and they're just talking with you like we're talking right now, versus a recording of a video of someone, or even an audio. Now, your conscious mind can tell the difference, of course. You know, it's not stupid. It's like, okay, I can tell someone's sitting in front of me in person, but unconsciously, it doesn't. And this works, you guys. It's insane. I remember when I went to an event one time and I was standing in line to get my ticket for the event, and someone just right next to me, they turned, they look at me, they're like, Nick, is that you? Like, hey, what's going on? I thought I talked to them outside. They're like, hey man, how you doing? And it's like, hey, you know, how's your family doing? Hey, I just saw you were in Miami, man. How was the trip? I was like, how do I know this person? That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, it was great. You know, I was thinking that maybe I forgot their name, so I didn't want to like come across as I forgot their name. And they brought it up. They're like, hey, I've been watching all your videos, man. You know, it's amazing. You got great content and everything. It's weird. They're like, it's weird. I feel like I know you. I didn't even have to say it. I was like, you know, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So it just confirms my belief with that aspect right there. So if you guys just start putting yourself out there and understand, like Dan says, you don't have to get it right. You know, you just have to get it going. You just have to put yourself out there and just start creating the content. Your first videos that you're going to make, understand that you're going to suck, right? I realized that I was going to suck when I was starting out. I still suck, right? Still not good. You know, a lot of my videos could be a lot more professional, right? You know, I could be in a more professional setting than my bedroom right now, you know, but I just understand that putting yourself out there and just creating more content, that's how you beat someone that's more experienced than you. You know, you might be saying, well, why would someone join me on YouTube if they're joining Ray Higdon in the business? If they're going to join Cesar Rodriguez, if they're going to join Dan, if they're going to join Nick, why would they join me? I have no experience. Well, here's the thing. I understood that if I were to create more content than the experts, more people would join me. It's as simple as that. But now it's going to take time to build up to that point. But if you put yourself out there, you can crush your competition. Like majority of people out there, you guys, 99.999% of people aren't filming videos. They're hiding behind their computer. They're hiding behind their autoresponders. They're hiding behind their, you know, Instagram. They're hiding behind their Facebook statuses, afraid to put themselves out there, right? And the cave that you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. So if you fear to create videos, then understand that videos are going to produce you the quickest results. So I recommend videos, and you can multi-purpose your videos, right? So if you're like, okay, sweet, I understand videos now. Where do I share them? Well, I recommend YouTube and Facebook. You know, you can create a video, you can rank it for a specific keyword, like how to make money on Instagram, all right, how to make money on Facebook, on YouTube, and then you could upload that same video to your Facebook wall. You can upload that same video to your Facebook fan page, and then you can send out an email to your list, to your following, sharing the video on YouTube, right, on the platform right there. So you can multi-purpose the content, which is very, very powerful. Now, don't try and dive into too many social media platforms when it comes in terms of creating content. I'd focus on one or two first. So like Facebook, YouTube. I just use Instagram as a third one just because it's simple, it's easy, it's effective. Doesn't take any time other than uploading the photo and coming up with a little clever caption, the hashtags, and then putting it out there. But if you guys do that, the next thing is sharing the content, right? So you got to get it out there. You got to get people to see it. You can have the best videos in the world, the best content, but if no one's going to see it, then you're not going to be able to build your following. So a big thing that you can do is when you create a video, email your list with it. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, well, I don't have a list. How am I supposed to get the reach to it? Share it on social media, right? You know, share it on your Facebook wall. And at first, you're going to get 1 or 2 views, right? And it might be from your mom and your grandma. It might even be from yourself. I remember sometimes I would refresh the video to see if I would have more views on it. I would refresh and see 2 views. I'd be like, oh, sweet. Oh, wait, they're from me. And I'd get a little frustrated there. But then I would start to share it more and more and more. I understood that more people would start to watch it. More people would start to check it out. And then the 10 views grew to 100, grew to 1,000. Now I have some videos out there that have over 100,000 views on it. And I'm not saying that to brag, but to give you guys an idea of what's possible, that it can happen with time and effort, okay? And then as you start to build your following by creating content, consistency is what's going to dominate everyone else out there, dominate your competition. A lot of people wonder, what's the perfect video? It's like, there's no perfect video. I mean, like, look at Gary Vaynerchuk, right? That guy out there, he has hundreds of videos. Look at Eric Worre. That guy has hundreds of videos, right? Eric Worre's goal is to make over 1,000 videos. I think 10,000. I can't remember the number. I think it's over 10,000 videos before the time that he dies. So he's well on his way. So some of his videos in the start, they're not good. They're all sitting in his kitchen. Right now he's in more professional locations, you know, has recordings of him speaking on GoPro, you know, when he started throwing on those events. And when you start to build that, you want to engage with your following, right? So spending some time per day, responding to emails, responding to comments, responding to messages in your inbox. You know, that's one thing that I struggle with that I can improve on, because I'm so focused on creating so much content that sometimes, you know, like I'll have messages in my inbox that sit there for a few days that I don't get to, just because I'm so focused on the creation mode, you know. But you have the creation mode, then you have the engagement mode as well. So Dan, do you want to kind of touch on that as well, my man?
No, honestly, dude, I think you pretty much, I don't know why I'm not coming up there. No, you pretty much hit the nail on the head on that. And where was I? No, sorry, I'm having a brain fart. My son is not does not want to. He doesn't want to sleep tonight. I don't know what it is. So I think that was pretty good. I want to dive into the community piece, because obviously we still got 2 more pieces. So I hope you guys, again, just that are writing this information down. So far, you know, we wanted to cover 5 things that are going to help you guys in your business and help you guys get to that 6-figure plateau, at least minimum, if not on your way to 7 figures in 2017. So 1, having a massive vision. 2, having a powerful why. And if your why makes you cry, then awesome. Well, you know, if that's awesome for you. 3, having a daily routine. And 4, we're going to dive a little bit into community. So one of you guys, Valencia, you just commented, you suck at Facebook Live. Hey, you know what? That's totally okay. That's totally okay. But I think the more that you do it, the more comfortable you get. And it's just all about practice. And, you know, practice makes perfect, as long as it's perfect practice, as long as you're consistent. And, you know, but the thing is, you just got to do it. It's just about taking action and, you know, doing it. So, like when Nick and I decided to do these webinars, neither one of us ever hosted a webinar, and we didn't know what we were doing. We were literally out in Las Vegas at a digital altitude event. And, you know, we just said, like, dude, let's just do a webinar next week. All right, cool. Let's do it. And then we just did it. And, you know, but, you know, that's just it, guys. You just got to take action. And you could go back into my YouTube channel and you could look at some of my previous videos, and a lot of them fucking suck. They really do. But I don't, you know, for me, it's more about the value and the content and the message that I'm delivering, and even the energy level in the video. And, you know, some of the videos I'm very energetic, and some of them it's more about getting the value and the point across. But some of them are very plain. They're very boring. I'm literally just standing over here in front of my dry erase board. Oh, I got a nasty echo. So I'm just standing in front of the dry erase board, and I'm just talking and teaching and writing stuff down and reviewing that with the audience. And that's, you know, it might seem, you know, boring for me, but other people might get a lot of value out of that. And I can tell by, you know, for me, again, it's just about starting and taking action. If you look back at, you know, my YouTube channel, I started with 0 viewers, and that was a few months ago. And now I have close to 500 you know, followers on YouTube, and some of my videos now have over 5,000 views. And if I thought that I sucked at video and I never got that going, I mean, in total, hang on one second. If I were to just look at my YouTube channel, so I have, just to give you guys an idea, so all of my videos on YouTube have had 26,000 views. I've had 26,000 people, almost 27,000 people view my content, which is like 70 something views. Okay. So if I didn't take action, if I didn't just start that process, then, you know, that's that many people, 26,000 views, 26,000 potential people that wouldn't see what I have to offer. So, you know, whether you know, suck or not, you can get good. You don't have to be great to start. You just have to start to be great. Okay.
Very true, man. And that 26,000 is going to turn into 260,000 over time. You know, that's the biggest thing. It started with 26 views. now 26,000 and 260,000, starts to grow and grow and grow. And that's something that I admire about you, Dan, is your consistency through it. You know, your consistency is just trumping everyone else out there, you know, and there's a lot of people out there that just aren't consistent and they're complaining that they're not getting results. I remember one business, there was this one kid, he's super entitled. He felt that he could make one video and strike it rich, enroll hundreds of people. And he made one video. He spent 2 months on the video, 2 months on one video. It was 10 minutes long, had it professionally done, probably spent $2,000 on the video to get it professionally edited, all put together and everything. And then he put the video out there, and then he got like 106 views on it and everything, because he shared it for like days at a time. And then after that, I think like maybe one person reached out to him and said, you know, they're ready to get started. I don't know if they signed up or not, but then he got pissed. He's like, well, this doesn't work. And then he quit, right? And it's something where then he looked at me and he's like, your videos aren't even that good. How are you getting results and everything? I was like, dude, you don't have to be great, you know, to start. You just have to start to be great. Most people, they don't start. They're just focusing on how can I be great in order to create the best content. So that doesn't matter at all, you guys. Now, the next thing that is very, very important along with your daily routine when you start putting out the content is just having the community to plug into, okay? And understand that, you know, the business that you're part of, it probably has a great community, but the community that we plug into, that we're putting our members inside of, is Online Sales Pros community. And the reason why for this, we're going to start to touch on this because these last 2 points play in conjunction with each other. You know, number 4 is obviously that community, that support, having that mentor. And number 5 is having Online Sales Pro as a system, as a front end offer for your business. So we're going to explain both of these. Okay. Now, first is community. Okay. Community, you know, think of it like this. Okay. You're the light bulb. The community, the group with Online Sales Pro is the socket, right? You're not going to work. You're not going to shine to your brightest potential if you're not plugged into the socket, right? You're going to lack some motivation, right? Sometimes you're going to lack the vision, the belief, you're going to doubt yourself. But if you plug into the community of people that are going to lift you up, that are going to support you, it's just like, you know, being on a football team, right? Where you have the camaraderie of other people around you to support you and to kind of get on your ass sometimes to say that you need to get to work, that you need to take action, that are going to tell you not what you want to hear sometimes, but what you need to hear, right? And what you need to hear is get your ass to work sometimes, right? You know, sometimes you need to hear some things that aren't going to, you know, stroke your ego, that are going to maybe like, you know, point out your flaws sometimes, but understand that they're going to help you become better. That's the whole goal here, you guys. And that's the whole goal with it. And also having that mentor, that support. Now, mentor, there's a couple aspects of having mentorship, right? You know, there's an in-person mentor that's working with you side by side, that can kind of teach you, that has the results that you want. It's kind of like having that, you know, upline in your area with like the company paid for car, maybe, that has the results that you aspire to be after, that's working with you, doing the home events if you do offline marketing. Or you can have digital mentorship, right? Digital mentorship, like I was saying, your unconscious mind, you know, can't tell the difference between a live person and a recording, right? So what I would do when I was started, I was in Potato Land, Idaho, right? I didn't have any world famous, you know, successful entrepreneur out here that I could just hang out at their house and work with. You know, it was just me at my parents' house, right? So what I had to do is I had to start plugging into people like Jim Rohn. Right? Had to listen to the greats. I had to go to, you know, the top of line like Zig Ziglar, T.R. Vecker, Eric Thomas, right? Les Brown, you know, all these guys, Brian Tracy, and just start reading their books, listening to their audios. Now I had those mentors. So there's 3 levels of mentorship, right? 33% of your time you should be spent with people above your level. So people that you aspire to become. So the greats, even people, you know, that are making great money in Online Sales Pro, making great money at the top of your business. So you're following those people, 33%. 33% of your time should be spent that people that are on your level, that are aspiring to become greater. So you guys can feed off of each other and have that little competitive energy. If you feed off competition, eventually it'll get to the point where you don't even, competition doesn't phase you. You're on cooperation mode. That's a whole different paradigm that we'll work on in future webinars. But 33% of your time after that is spent with people that are below your level, people that you're mentoring, okay? So it's a round robin right here. If all you're doing is spend your time being mentored by people and you're not mentoring others, then you're not gonna retain near as much information. You know, when you're teaching what you're learning through your mentor to other people, it allows you to retain more of it. So that's why we do these webinars, you guys, because we spend 33% of our time, you know, 1 webinar per week. We could probably do more, you know, but we're still teaching, we're helping you guys, supporting you. So where we can lift you guys up and help you become more successful in your business. So that's a big key. There's Facebook groups, you know, plug it into the Facebook group. Like that's why I created the Lifestylepreneurs group. That's why Dan has his group, to plug you guys into that. So you can constantly stay as a part of it, right? You know, if at any moment you found yourself lacking motivation, come check out the group, come look in there, look at some posts, watch some of the videos, watch a replay of this webinar. You might have to watch this webinar 5-10 different times before you truly understand every single point, because every single time you watch a replay of something, you're going to be a different person, right? You're going to have a whole new different outlook. It's like if you've read a book before, if you go back and you read that book in another couple months, another 6 months, it's going to be like a whole completely different book than the first time that you've read it. You know, I found that. I've read, you know, The Power of Your Unconscious Mind like 5 different times, and I pick up gold nuggets every single time that I read it. So very, very valuable there. But Dan, you want to touch on that as well?
No, I just think one of the best things about having a community to plug into. I don't know why this mic thing is being a bitch here. One of the best parts about having a community to plug into is really, for me, and hopefully for you guys too, is literally just about the consistency. It's about staying consistent, being consistent. And for a lot of people, especially in the beginning, when you need that little motivational push, for me, you know, almost at this point, I can self-motivate, but a lot of people can't self-motivate. So having that community to go to, whether it be, you know, like a Facebook group or listening to some type of daily call. And I think with Online Sales Pro, you know, there are, I don't know if they have daily calls, or I know there's several calls per week, but, you know, when you just want that push, that motivation, that, you know, somebody behind you saying like, you can do this, and giving you the tools and tips and tricks to, you know, to push yourself. That's great to have, and especially in the beginning. But you know, you really need you know, that source that, you know, you can rely on and you can go to get that motivation. I know for me, Online Sales Pro has been a great mentor and motivator with a lot of people in the group, you know, both peers, people that I can reach out to and have questions and get answers with in the group, and also relying on some of the people that are really just absolutely crushing it, like Joel and Vince and Grady. And you know, what's really cool too is all of those folks are just real people like you and I, and you know, they're just having really great results. But you know, I've reached out to and spoke to Grady, and I've reached out and spoke to Joel, I've reached out and spoke to Vince, and they're all you know, really great people, and they're all there to help anybody succeed. So having that as a resource is just it's just absolutely crucial to, you know, the success of anybody that wants to, you know, have their own business, and having that community to be able to plug into, do it consistently, and the motivation to kind of push you through some of the tough times. I think it's great.
Definitely. Yeah, no, those motivational calls that Grady does are really, really gold to keep you plugged in. Like my first business, I remember, I believe it was Alex Morton that was doing the calls like every single day. Even if they were recorded calls, I would just hop on them. Even if I had heard it 30 times before, I'd be working out, I would listen to the recording of the call while I was working out, just to keep myself motivated, right? So I had that mentor constantly inside of my ear. And if you guys don't have Online Sales Pro yet, you know, just reach out to Dan or myself or whoever invited you on this webinar at the end and get started, and download the app that you have on your phone, like the app right here. I know some of you guys have seen this. For those of you that haven't, it's simply an app that gets to track is lighting all of your leads that you have. You have, you know, a bar on the right side right here where you can see, you know, your leads, notifications. You have scripts, rebuttals to handle objections. You have resources, you know, affiliate section. And inside of this, you get a notification as well. So when you have notifications in the morning, you'll see, oh, you know, the call is live right now, call in. So you guys can see right here, you know, live now. I can't read this on a reverse right here, but it says live now, New Year's formula for success on the morning power call. It gives you the number, it gives you the PIN code and the time. You just simply dial in, listen mode. You know, you could do it while you're driving, you know, turn off the radio, right? Turn on the audios, turn on the motivational calls. It's called a university on wheels, right? And a lot of people, when they're commuting to their work, they're wasting their time, right? They're wasting their time just listening to pointless stuff on the radio. Now I find myself doing that sometimes. You know, I'll listen to the radio here and there, but I don't do that all the time, right? You know, when I'm in my own and I'm just driving around, I'm doing that. I'll just be listening to audios. You know, I'll be reprogramming my unconscious mind, and having that mentorship and that support with Online Sales Pro is very, very big, you guys. And the cool thing about it too, as well, you get notifications. Like every time you get a new commission notification, you'll just get cha-chings on cha-chings on cha-chings throughout the day. Whenever you enroll a new member, generate a lead. And it's kind of addicting hearing that. You know, I love it. I remember I was like sitting down at dinner and my phone would start going crazy with the little cha-chings to where I had to turn the sound off a little bit. And I would just like feel little buzzes on my phone, to where now you get used to it, you know? But for those of you as well, I want to throw this out there. I actually created an audio that has binaural beats mixed with cha-chings into it. So, you know, I was saying, and I was talking about your daily routine, the silence, the meditation. Here's the thing that's crazy, guys. When I started doing like a little bit of meditation, I started getting into it. When I first joined Online Sales Pro, I listened to this audio recording where it played the binaural beats, the sound of waves crashing on the ocean, just because that's relaxing for me. And then the cha-chings slowly coming in there, kind of so it's not overpowering it, but just doing that to where unconsciously I would expect to hear cha-chings all day long. And then after doing that, my phone started blowing up like crazy, to where I started generating over 100 leads per day inside of my business, then over 150 leads per day. And, you know, the cha-chings were so crazy that I like literally like, you know, I had to turn the sound off on it. So if you guys want that audio, just let me know, reach out to me. I can send you the link. It's on YouTube. You know, you can download it on your phone or whatever it may be and just listen. I think it's like 30 minutes long or something, but OSP is very, very gold for this stuff, you guys, because for those of you that are in a company right now, you know, whether you do like network marketing, maybe you do real estate, maybe you're doing e-commerce, maybe you're doing Forex, having your primary business is the staple of your primary income of what you're doing, what you're building, what you've built your vision behind is very, very important. But having a front end offer, for those of you that are familiar with like lead magnets, front end offers, those terms right there, then it's very, very powerful to share with other people. Because I'll give you an example here. Let's say you're on Facebook, okay? You're having a conversation with someone. You're talking with them. They're in a network marketing company like World Ventures, right? Let's say you find out that they're in another network marketing company like Mary Kay or Avon, okay? And then all of a sudden, conversation starts to turn into a debate of whose company's better. I'm sure if you guys have been with your company for any period of time, this has happened to you before. We started debating of whose comp plan's better, you know, whose mentor is better, you know, whose product's better, you know, whose team's in more momentum. Nothing constructive comes from that, because both of you have a wall up, you have your guard up and you're butting heads, right? And then you've just wasted like 30 minutes to an hour of your time talking with that person and nothing constructive came from it, right? You both are kind of irritated with each other because you saw it as a pitch fest, right? You know, don't be a pitch bitch. Don't just go out there and just start pitching people your business, right? Having a front end offer bypasses barriers altogether. And the reason why is because when you're talking with someone, what company are you in? Let's say they tell you, well, I'm in World Ventures, right? Like, oh, that's awesome. How long have you been with that for? They're like, oh, you know, about 5 years now. Oh, that's crazy. You must be really succeeding with it. Like, yeah, I'm doing pretty well. You know, I have a team of a couple hundred people. Like, sweet, sweet. Well, what are you doing to generate leads online? I mean, I have Facebook and all that stuff. Okay, that's cool. But what are you using for your sales funnel? And they're like, what's a sales funnel? 95% of the people that I talk with, when I ask them, what are you using for your sales funnel? They don't even know what a sales funnel is. And so when they say, what's a sales funnel? They're the perfect candidate to get started with Online Sales Pro, right? So then if I take the time, instead of explaining everything through a Facebook message, I say, well, if I showed you a video that explained what a sales funnel is, you know, would you be willing to check it out? So I use a little Eric Worre here. And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. Then I'll just send them one of, you know, either a video that I made when I was first starting out. If I didn't have any videos made explaining Online Sales Pro, I'd send them one of the funnel videos that is set up through the system for you. And what would happen is people would see it and they'd be like, this is amazing, man. Like, I need to start using this. Then what they would do is they would get started with Online Sales Pro. You earn a commission from that, right? Since it's an additional stream of income that doesn't interfere with your current business. And then what happens is they would bring their team onto it. Maybe they have a team of 10 people. Maybe they have a team of a couple hundred people, right? Now, it bypasses that barrier to where you're now their mentor. You're working with them in Online Sales Pro. And then eventually down the road, whether it takes 2 months, 3 months, a month, a week, maybe a couple of days, where they're just like, hey, you know, I see the value in Online Sales Pro. What's your primary business? You're like, well, it's Amway, right? And they're, if you're in Amway, right? And they're like, okay, that's awesome. I want to work with you in your primary business. I've had countless amounts of people, you guys, that have joined my Online Sales Pro team, joined me in Digital Altitude as well, that are in other businesses, just simply because I have that front end offer. So the reason why we put Online Sales Pro in there is because it's going to, number one, it's going to allow you to build your primary business, which is the main goal here, right? It's going to allow you to generate more leads, to build your list, to start creating sales funnels and harness the power of social media to be able to build your funnels and start attracting people to you. Number two, It's going to allow you to earn an extra stream of income when you start referring people to it, because they say the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, right? So you can be able to earn, those commissions on the residual commissions, as well as, the one-time commissions on that too. And number 3, it's going to be a lead magnet and attraction marketing mechanism to be able to bring people to you that are already experienced in marketing. Okay, what's the best way to build your business? With people who have never done anything with marketing before, or with people who are already pros at marketing? Well, now the answer is obvious, right? It's people that are already pros at marketing. It's like trying to, go bike riding, downhill mountain bike riding, with someone who's never ridden a bike before, a toddler that can't even that struggles to ride even with training wheels on, right? Where you have to encourage them, you have to put your hand on their back, and sometimes they'll complain, they don't even know how to pedal sometimes, or someone that's been riding thousands of times that can already do backflips, right? That's what happens when you use Online Sales Pro, because you'll start to attract other people to you that have teams of hundreds, even thousands of people. I've had people reach out to me on social media that have been with network marketing for over 10 years, have built teams way larger than I've built. I've had people reach out to me that have a team of 6,000 people, and I've only built a team of 800 people in network marketing, nothing crazy, but they want me to coach them with online marketing. You see the scale right here, you guys. You see how powerful this is. So Dan, obviously you understand the power of Online Sales Pro. What was the number one thing that really motivated you, that you saw in it, the bigger picture, the aha moment that, caused you to leverage it, for your business and as your lead magnet too?
It's kind of funny. My story of getting into Online Sales Pro is probably a little bit different than most. I literally wanted to get in because, they have a lot of different sales funnels that are available for different types of offers. So, you had mentioned earlier, World Ventures and all these other companies. So Online Sales Pro has a lot of templates that you can use for these other companies. So with Digital Altitude, they had a particular sales funnel that I really liked. I thought the sales funnel was awesome. And, I wanted that for my Digital Altitude business. So I just joined Online Sales Pro just to use that funnel. And I thought maybe at some point I'll, start driving it, as a secondary income stream. And it was kind of funny, just through, building my presence online, doing YouTube videos and doing, building my Digital Altitude business. I had people reaching out to me saying, "Hey, are you also in Online Sales Pro?" And I'd say, "Yeah." And they'd say, "Oh, what's your link?" I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." And I'd send them my link and they'd sign up. And that started to happen over and over and over again. And now at this point, I've built up, commissions of over $1,000 just with, really not even marketing it that heavily. But, now I've kind of obviously seen the value in it and know that, there's so many different resources within Online Sales Pro, whether it be you're at the regular $37 level or you move up to the VIP or MVP level. There's so much training in that back office to teach you just how to be a better marketer, whether you want to get into, more social media and into Facebook, or you want to get into things like Facebook advertising. There's courses, within the back office that you could watch, 3 different courses that you could watch to get really good at Facebook advertising. So, one, they teach you how to be a better marketer, and they've helped me out. They've helped me with some of my Facebook ads, and, so there's that. And then there's also a lead platform, so you can help yourself generate leads using, Online Sales Pro. You can buy leads directly through there and then advertise your business that way. And you can do it and you get an OSP discount by using that particular, lead vendor that's in there. So there's a lot of different things. And, what I started doing is I actually created a couple of different Instagram accounts. So I have 4 total Instagram accounts now. And, I set up one of them specifically to target network marketers, just so I could drive my Online Sales Pro business and continue that secondary stream of income alongside my primary business, Digital Altitude. And so, in talking about being targeted, you want to be as targeted with just as much as your vision as you do your advertising. Okay. So, with my one Instagram account, and I know this is a little off, topic, but I'll tie it together if I can. What I did with this one Instagram account is I went after a very specific network marketing company, not even network marketers in general, but a network marketing company. Because overall, what do network marketers need? They need more leads, and they need people looking at their business opportunity, all right, if they want to grow their network marketing business. But so many people, so many network marketers, and I was one of them. You burn through your hundreds list. You try to, convince all your friends and family, hey, join me in my business, when half the time all your friends and family, you don't even want them in your business anyway because they suck. I can say that with all the love and care in the world. But, and then you get into your cold market, and then you end up, walking around, shopping malls, handing out business cards, and just, doing all the shit that nobody really wants to do. So I know the struggle of that particular network marketing company, and what, that some of the challenges are. So, all of my posts, all of my verbiage, all of my wording, and all of the posts that I do for that particular Instagram account are geared at that network marketing company. So I took a funnel that I made with Online Sales Pro. I shot a video of myself, and I talk about that network marketing company. I talk about the pain points, the lack of leads, the frustration about being in the cold market, about pitching your friends and family. And then I say, what, if you want to automate your business and you want to get people looking at your opportunity 24/7 while you sleep, then click that link below to learn more. And literally in just like the past month and a half, I've sponsored in, I think it's like 7 people into Online Sales Pro from that one Instagram account, because it was detail targeted. And, by just setting that up, now it's on autopilot. Now I don't have to think about it. All I have to do is just kind of post occasionally. But it's just a great way to have a secondary income stream, using Online Sales Pro. And now I could easily take that, and I could duplicate that 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 times and go after other network marketing companies or other niches or business. So the more targeted you could be, you can use a platform like Online Sales Pro to capture all of those leads and sales and just create that back end income stream for you. Because for me, one of my goals, which I'm working towards this year, is I want to get, and some of these numbers might be crazy for some, but my goal with Online Sales Pro is $10,000 a month. And I want that $10,000 is going to pay for the advertising for my digital altitude business. So I want to spend $10,000 on marketing per month, but I want it all to flow seamlessly. So again, part of the vision, part of the goal, having everything written down and having a plan this year to make that happen. So that just kind of, for me, just kind of recaps everything that we've been talking about tonight.
Mm-hmm. And I think of Online Sales Pro, you guys, like the gas to your car, right? You've heard the analogy before that your primary business is your vehicle to success, right? So you have, the vehicle, like let's say a 9-to-5 vehicle to financial freedom is like a tricycle, okay? Your online business, your network marketing company is like a Ferrari, okay? So you have this Ferrari, well, how are you going to get it anywhere? You need to put gas in it. Now, are you going to put, glue, lighter fluid in it? Or are you going to put the best possible gasoline you could possibly put to get it from point A to point B? Now, I want you to think of it in this term, shifting a paradigm here, okay? Where is there more money to be made? Selling cars or selling fuel? Obviously selling fuel, right? Because what else needs fuel to run other than cars? Well, you got boats, right? You got boats, you got ATVs, you got jet skis, you got all this other stuff. So there's whole different markets out there. So not only when you use Online Sales Pro for your primary business as fuel, right? You can be in the business of selling fuel to other car owners, okay? To other people that drive like jet skis, right? To other business owners, to people that are in real estate, maybe people that are in music promotion, maybe people that have e-commerce, like I said, Forex and all this stuff. So the sky isn't the limit here because there's footprints on the moon. So you can expand and you can grow your horizons way beyond your current company and start creating multiple streams of income inside the back office when you guys decide to get started. And what's going to happen is you're going to be able to open up your online marketing store, and inside of your store, you can add additional streams of income. So the coolest part that I love is not only being able to grow digital altitude through using the funnel that Dan was saying, but also being able to earn from, additional streams like Aweber, right? So you have like your Aweber affiliate commissions, you got, Instagram, like if you have a software that you're leveraging through Instagram, like I'm using Jatch for that, you might be using like InstaEasy or something else out there. You can incorporate that into the back office as well. Maybe you're the type of person that is creating your own products, your own coaching process, your own, whatever it may be. Like I created my own Instagram product, right? So I have my Instagram product back there in an ebook that people that join through Online Sales Pro, they go through that product as well and they purchase it too. So if you decide that you want to start doing paid advertising, whether that be through Facebook ads, solo ads, you start purchasing through ego or solo ads or human eyeballs traffic, you start doing that, then you can start funneling them to Online Sales Pro as your central hub, right? Is like the center of the wheel, as the gasoline to the car pretty much. And then other people will start to see your other streams of income and start joining you in that. And generally what I found is if someone will join you in one business, most likely they'll join you in something else down the road. It happens. And I mean, Dan, you were with me in MLSP, right? You got started with me in Online Sales Pro and with Digital Altitude too. And it's like, just building that, relationship, building that friendship to where we're working together. Now we're doing these coaching calls and, we're expanding all over the world to help you guys do the same things. It's really, really powerful what you can be able to accomplish with it. But obviously we're going to save, the details for, later. There's videos that we've made, that Dan's made, that I've made, that the system's made. If you guys want more information on it, then just reach out to either of us after this webinar and we'll be glad to send you a link to check it out, to look into it. But we're creeping up on an hour and 40 minutes here. We wanted to keep this under an hour, but I like to ramble a lot, so it's kind of hard to do it, keep it time sensitive.
Yeah, I think we're both really good at talking, especially when we, this type of thing, I know it excites myself and it excites Nick as well. So it's like we're passionate about it. We love doing it. And I think mainly it's, I was thinking about this earlier today, is like we really love helping people. And, that's why we decided to do these weekly webinars, is to help give as much value and as much content for you guys as humanly possible. And, also something to think about too, if you guys want to make it a goal for yourself, later this year or whenever you get to that point, but think about yourself, think about hosting webinars or just doing random Google Hangouts, because the great part about these webinars that we do is, not only while you guys are live, we sometimes will do like the Q&A and we can answer questions and it's about the value that week. But the really cool part is once we make these videos, it goes to, my YouTube channel and it's there forever. So, we're creating content, not just tonight, right now, but we're creating content that's going to be replayed. And, some of the other live webinars that we've done have, 500-600 views, close to 1,000 views. So that's that many other people that we're connecting with, helping, giving value to, and then maybe even, food for thought down the road for you guys is, we can always link that or tie that to an opportunity if people want to get started with either Online Sales Pro or Digital Altitude. So I would highly encourage you guys to, really get involved with, hosting webinars or, doing more value videos for yourself. And the more you can get that out into the world, the better you're going to be. Because like Nick was saying earlier, video marketing is huge and it's going to trump everything else.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you guys put that out there. You got your videos ranked on YouTube. You start funneling them to the funnels that you've created through Online Sales Pro. Then that's how you start generating automatic commissions and sales. Like just sitting here, you guys, I'm getting notifications on my phone of cha-chings, of new sales coming in through Online Sales Pro. So, five new sales just in the time that we've done this webinar. And I haven't been promoting. That's from previous content that I've created just this year. So when you have this out there, like the analogy that we've given is you're creating bricks that you're cementing in time, and those grow to a wall and eventually building then an empire over time. So when we say, let us show you how to build an online empire, that's what we mean by that. So we highly encourage you guys, to take action, because if your goal is to create 6 figures, in 2017, then, that's how you're going to be able to do it. Everything that we've taught you guys tonight, after you get off this, going into 2017, into January, start taking massive action with it. That's the biggest thing we want you guys to get away with this. You can have all the knowledge information out there, but action, trumps everything else. Sometimes ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. But now that you have knowledge, put it to good use, light your ass on fire and get to work now. All right.
That is true. Sometimes you just got to boot yourself in the ass and go do it. But I think that's also too part of what we had mentioned earlier, as part of being that in that community. When you need that motivational push, you can plug into, you can plug into that community. You can plug into the calls, the webinars, or really, I think, you guys had mentioned earlier in some of the comments here, is just going on YouTube. But you got to be careful when you're on there. You got to be on YouTube with a very specific purpose, because you can easily get distracted into other shit that's going to waste your time. And, like Gary Vaynerchuk says, stop focusing on dumb shit. And it's so true. We can easily get ourselves distracted. So that being said, I know I'm ready to wrap this up, and it's 10:43 p.m. my time. What is Jeremy says? What's Daniel's group on Facebook? I have my own private community for people that are underneath me in Online Sales Pro and Digital Altitude. I'm not sure if that, Jeremy, is what you're referring to. And yes, Marilyn, shiny objects. People get distracted by the shiny objects all the time. So Nick, anything else for you?
I think that's it, man. We laid a lot on the table for you guys. Now it's up to you. Just pick it up, put it to work, and start getting the results that you're after. Because just sitting there, just like, you got a lot of information, right? You might be up in your head right now, just trying to figure out what's the next step that you need to take. Well, just create your first piece of content. What I would recommend doing is doing a Facebook Live video, right? Just create your first Facebook Live video and, put yourself out there. Don't even worry about, what other people are going to think. The live video might not even get that many views at the start, so you don't have to worry about that many people seeing you. Or even, like Dan was saying, record your first webinar. If no one's on it, if no one watches it, that's fine. Just record it, put it on YouTube, then share that video on your Facebook wall, right? You don't have to have the perfect strategy to take action, right? You don't have to worry about, okay, well, should I do a Facebook Live or should I do a video? Just the process alone of thinking which one should you do, a recorded video or a live video, is wasting your time. Just take action, pick one, and then just go after it. Then through getting ready, it's not even getting ready, aiming, then firing. It's fire, get ready, and then you aim. So you take action, you get ready, you're like, okay, that might not have been the best thing. So you're aiming, you're calculating, you're like, maybe Facebook Lives are the best thing. You put out a Facebook Live, that gets more engagement than the other video. You're like, okay, this is the right path that I need to take. And then you just fire repeatedly over and over and over again, and then aim along the road.
Yeah, right on. And I think with Facebook Live too, or a Google Hangout if you guys decide to, host a webinar. But think about, if you do a Facebook Live, it's going to get you a lot of attention, and that can definitely be a good thing. But don't overcomplicate it. So we've mentioned on these webinars before the acronym ILT, which is invest, time, sometimes money, learn something, and then you turn around and you teach it. So you could take one thing from tonight's webinar, whether it be having a powerful why, having a massive vision, talking about a daily routine, going through the SAVERS acronym, from the book The Morning Miracle that Nick went through earlier, and you could host a Facebook Live and say, hey guys, I just want to talk to you guys about this great daily routine that I heard on a webinar last night, and it really hit home with me, and I wanted to share that with you. SAVER, spell it out, go through the acronym, and talk about the importance of it and the impact it had on you. Hope you guys got some value out of that. I'll see you on the next Facebook Live. And that could literally take you 5 minutes. And just by doing that consistently, you're just going to build a following. And next time you go live, people are going to be like, oh, you know what, let me tune into that, because I got some value out of the last one that I watched that you did. So just do it. Just start. You got to go start. So I have one announcement for next week. Nick, I know you're going to be in Thailand, my man, living it up in Fifi or whatever it's called there. But I hope you enjoy that. So next week, I don't know if Nick's going to be able to get it on the webinar, but last week I had told you guys that we had some special things planned in the month of January. So next week, Travis Holder from the Enlight team. So a few weeks ago, we had Brian Dixon on, and he did Facebook advertising. Well, next week, we're going to have Travis on, and Travis is the Instagram guru. He's built a 7-figure business just from Instagram. So for those of you that want to learn the ins and outs and tips and tricks from Instagram, stay tuned for next week's webinar, because Travis is going to provide an immense amount of value and take you through exactly how he's built his Instagram empire. So that should be a really good one.
Awesome. Sweet. That'll be good stuff. And while I'm out in Thailand, I'll try and make it on. I don't know how the internet connection is going to be out there. Sometimes it might be a little bit, janky. Yeah, we're going to be staying at Airbnbs, so we'll see. Hopefully, I definitely want to hop on these. I'll be back the 23rd of January, so we'll have to pick up, where it left off and everything. But I know Dan will hold down the house. He'll be bringing on some good guests for you guys to really throw down some knowledge. One of them being, Joel. We'll see if we can get Vincent on as well, so they can share their knowledge on how they've been able to build up an email list of over, hundreds of thousands of people, be able to create, 8-figure businesses and all this stuff in many different niches. So it's going to be a lot for you guys, but appreciate every single one of you for hopping on with us tonight. We know these are pretty lengthy. Appreciate you guys for hanging in with us through this whole time. I know that if you guys watch this over and over and over again, you'll get even more value than you did, the first time sitting through this. And, I'm going to go through, and I like to watch the replays as well, because, I pick up on some gold nuggets that Dan said throughout it that I didn't pick up the first time as well. So just repetitive, repetition is the mother of retention. So just remember that as well, you guys.
Yeah, and I just want to chime in on one very last thing. I forget who it was in the chat box that commented information overload. And what's great is, sometimes throughout your business, or when you're learning, especially on these webinars, we do cover a lot of information. And especially, God, when Brian was on a couple of weeks ago going through Facebook advertising, there was a ton of information. And even tonight, we covered a lot of information as well, more about mindset than the technical stuff. But the best part is these are all recorded, and you could go onto YouTube, and you could watch them over and over and over again until you start to pick up on all the information. So great part about video is you can watch it as many times as you need to get it. So other than that, Nick, sir, appreciate you hanging out. And other than that, we will see you guys next week when we get to learn about Instagram from Travis. And stay tuned. I will have that information out to you guys probably on Monday or Tuesday next week. So stay tuned. Nick, enjoy your trip in Thailand. I'm jealous. And I'll, we'll see you guys soon, right?
Solid. See you guys on the next webinar, and also on the beaches of the world.
All right. Night, guys. Bye.